Hey there, friends. Welcome to Nirvana, where I address your questions and concerns about self-love and relationships. But more importantly, I discuss how to have a healthy relationship with yourself. So I am your host and personal self-love development coach, Shavonna Nicole. If you are new here, again, welcome. And please consider subscribing because I would love to have you. Now, in today's episode, we have a question from Ebony, and I'm so excited to get right into it with you. So let's go. So today's question comes from Ebony, and Ebony asked, Dear Vana, I feel like I'm a good person, a hardworking person, a loving person. But why is it that others have long-term relationships and a family and I don't? No one has proposed to me and no one treats me well enough to even stay around that long. What don't I have that others with marriages and families seem to have? Well, Ebony, first I want to thank you again for, writing that question and really being honest about how you feel and transparent with something that I'm sure everyone has struggled with at some point of time in their life where they feel like, why do others seem to be making more progress in their lives and I feel stagnant? So that could be not just relationships, but that could be on your job. That could be just maybe with your weight goals. It can be anything. And so it's a really good question. So I want to get right into it with you. So hold on and I'll be right back and we're going to dive into this thing. Hey everyone, so we are back. And first, I'd like to say that if you're listening and you can relate to Ebony's question, even a smidget, so even if you've thought maybe not a relationship or having a family or anything like that, but maybe you've thought, why did I get passed up for a promotion and that person got it? Why did I get passed up for a job and that person got the job that you wanted? Maybe you didn't get the man that you wanted. Why didn't you win the bid for the house that you wanted? Or you didn't get the record deal that you thought you should have gotten and someone else got it. Or something else that you apply for or put yourself out there for and you feel like, why is that person more qualified than me? If you're honest with yourself, I'm sure that everyone has thought that at some point of their lives. And so what I want to tell you today is that you are unique. You are 100% and original that cannot be copied or duplicated in any shape or form. And so you have a certain set of skills, characteristics, talents that match how you look and how you sound, and it is all unique to you. And so what is meant for you is meant for you. And as long as you decide not to settle, you're still in the running for getting exactly what you've asked for. And so just because someone else got something that you think that you should have gotten, or someone else has something that you feel that you should have as well, just know that what is meant for you will come to you as long as you stay focused on what your desire is and you don't give up and you don't settle for something that that you really don't want. And so, I just want to make it clear that everybody is unique. And so if they've gotten a position, it was meant for them at that particular time. That person was meant for them at that particular time. And so just because you haven't gotten it doesn't mean that you will not get it. It just means that it's not the time for whatever it is that you've asked for. And so that just leads me into what I really want to get more detailed about, which is why we should not compare ourselves to others. But first I do want you to be excited about who you are and be excited that you are unique. Be excited that you have a specific set of desires that are unique to you. And so, before I get into the reasons why we shouldn't, I want you to start off with a positive outlook and a positive insight as to who you really are. There has not ever been a person just like you on earth. There's currently not a person just like you on earth, and there never will be. And so feel excited about that. Feel empowered about that you are unique and that is your superpower. So I do want to get into the reasons why we shouldn't compare ourselves to other people. But first, just take a moment to really be excited about who you are as a person and what makes you you. So take some time right now and just celebrate that. Think about who you really are and be ecstatic that you are the only person like you. All right, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. Now, hopefully, you have it ingrained in your mind that you are 100% an original, right? And so, hopefully, you feel encouraged and inspired and empowered by knowing that, right? And actually believing that. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. Just keep listening to this until you honestly believe deep down inside that you are unique and that is your superpower, and knowing that and feeling confident in that. Okay. So we're going to move on to reason number one that you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. So first and foremost, people, it just doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you really think about it to look at someone else and envy or feel jealous, because that's what it's called, of what other people have or the progress that they're making. And so now you're judging yourself based on someone else's accomplishments. And I don't know, not one person can say that that feels good, because it just doesn't. So even if you're on the other end of it and now you feel what you consider good about yourself because of someone else's misfortune, that just divides us. That doesn't really bring anyone together. Now, you have an unhealthy sense of self, because what makes you feel good is pointing out other people's flaws or misfortunes or mishaps. And either way, it's just not healthy. If you're looking for emotional instability, then go this route. But if you're looking to be emotionally stable and have a healthy sense of self, you have to look inside, people, not on the outside, and not basing it on what other people have or don't have to determine your value and your level of success. It's just the perfect recipe for being a hot mess. I'm just going to be honest. And that's not a technical term, but I'm sure you all know what I mean. So again, remember, it just doesn't feel good, people, and it doesn't unite us. It divides us. And again, it's an unhealthy sense of self, and it just breeds jealousy and envy. So remember, reason number one, it just doesn't genuinely feel good. Okay, so we're going to move on now to reason number two. All right, so we're moving on to reason number two. And, I want to point out that in comparing yourself to other people, you're basing your individual progress on someone else's. So my question to you is, are they pulling the strings or are you? Like, who's in control? When you compare yourself to other people, you put them in the control seat of your life and your progress, so to speak. So it's like, okay, you see everyone else your age, you see all your peers getting married and having families, and now you want one. So do you want a family, or do you want to be married because everyone around you is, or is that a genuine desire of yours? And it gets hard to tell when you're constantly looking at other people. You have one life, and it's one life that you should be the star of. Don't give anyone else the leading role in your life where you're trying to catch up, or you're trying to fit in, or you're trying to feel more important than you actually feel. And you think that these things will make you feel more important or validated or whatever. And so, again, it's just an unhealthy recipe for, it's a recipe for emotional instability. And so you have to decide what your goal is and keep your focus on that and see where you are on this line of goals or desires or accomplishments that you want to be, and take the focus off of other people. So again, reason number 2 is that you're giving away your power. You're giving up the control seat by putting the focus on someone else when the focus should be on you and solely you. Okay? So don't give up your control to other people. All right? I don't care who they are. You deserve to be the star of your own life. So let's move on to reason number 3. So we are here at the last and final reason that you should not compare yourself to other people. And number 3 is everyone's journey is an individual journey, an individualized journey, meaning that, this thing that we call life, everyone, is just that. It's a journey on a way to certain destinations. But even when you reach a destination, as long as you're still living, there's still a journey to be had. And so in that, realize that there may be things that you need to see, that you need to tackle, accomplish, or learn before getting to a certain destination. So while you're thinking that you should be somewhere else or you should be where someone else is, whether that's in a marriage, whether that's in a job, whether that's in the spotlight or whatever, or in a house, a home, there may be some things that you need to accomplish first. There may be some things that you need to learn first, but you won't be able to see that or get that because you're comparing yourself to other people and trying to keep up or trying to force things to happen or to make sure that you're doing better than somebody else. And in doing that, you can miss key things that you need to ensure your own success, and that means you're not paying attention to your own personal needs, your own personal journey. And so the inspiration becomes all wrong. You're basing your progress on external things and you're trying to move along, in this journey called life based upon what other people are in their journey. And if you go back to what I mentioned before, or what I encourage you to do, which is celebrate who you are and your individuality, then you can really appreciate your own journey. And there will be no need to compare yourself to other people because you know that everything in your path is for you. And so, when you take the focus off of you and you put the spotlight on someone else, you miss the things in your own path that you need to pay attention to, that you may need to pay attention to. So again, you need to the focus needs to be on you, what your needs are, what your desires are. And if you want a life where you're truly and genuinely happy, filled with joy, inspired, then that requires you to pay attention to yourself, which means that you don't really have time to pay attention to other people and what they have. So the third and final reason is that your journey is your journey, just that. It's no one else's journey. So it honestly doesn't matter what anybody else has. It just really doesn't. Focus on what you need and focus on what your desires are. And again, as long as you don't settle, then you're still in the running for getting everything that you've put out there, that you said or declared that you wanted. And make sure that what you want is something that you want and not what people say that you should have, or not a destination that other people have said that you should be. When you're 35, you're supposed to have this. When you're 40, you're supposed to have that. Try not to pay attention to those things and just pay attention to what you want, you desire, and what you feel would make you happy. Okay? So when we come back, I'm just going to summarize all of this for you. All right? Stay tuned. Okay, everyone. So I've just given you all 3 reasons why you should not compare yourself to other people. Reason number 1, it doesn't make you feel good and it doesn't keep you emotionally stable. Reason number 2, you're basing your individual progress on somebody else's. So you're giving up the control seat, you're giving up the spotlight in your own life. And reason number 3, comparing yourself to other people takes the focus off of your individual journey and your own wants and needs. So, that being said, I want to end with this. A healthy thing to do would be to, if you're going to compare yourself to anybody, it should be to yourself. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, because that's something you can control. That's a game you can definitely win. So, figure out who you want to be, what you want to have. What goals that you want to achieve based upon who you are as a person, based upon your talents, your skills, your passion, your love for things or other people. Make those goals based upon that. And then each day, ask yourself, am I along the track of who I want to be? And am I a better person than I was yesterday? And that will help propel you even further on your journey, the journey called life. That will help to propel you even further. Again, you want to play in a game that you know you can win and not a lose-lose battle. It's a lose-lose battle to compare yourself to other people. But you can definitely win the journey of becoming a better you and looking at yourself and making sure that you're making the progress that you've decided that you want to have. So keep that in mind, everyone, and striving to be a better you and not striving to be better than somebody else. Okay? So I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. I think that, again, I honestly think that every one of us, including myself, can relate to Ebony's question, and that we have all found ourselves at some point in our lives looking at other people and wondering how they got to where they are and wondering why we aren't further along at some capacity. So hopefully you've learned from this, take what you need from this, and if not anything, please celebrate every day if you can that you are a unique individual and you are someone to be celebrated. Okay, thank you. And we have reached the very end. I want to thank everyone again for tuning in with me today. It was such a pleasure for me to share with you. You know, if you've gained anything or learned anything from today's episode, please subscribe. I'd love to have you join me on a regular basis. Also, if you'd like to have your question answered on this show, dear Vonna, email me with the information provided in the description. Until next time, friends, this is your host and personal self-love development coach, Shavonna Nicole, reminding you to please practice self-love as it is your superpower. Talk to everyone soon.